Hi, I'm back. It's been a long time, and I know I need to be on here more often. Sometimes real world just kind of creeps up on you. But I'm back, and I'm here, and I've got some new hardware to show you. My rig has been upgraded with the new Honeycomb Sierra throttle propeller mixture module. I've got that stacked with all my other stuff. I still got the Honeycomb Alpha, the Bravo, I still got my Octavia IFR1, I've still got a place for my tablet, and I'm able to shove the Honeycomb Sierra into a place of honor at my right hand here so that we can simulate a lot closer to what we really have up in the air with the Cessna 182, which is my pride and joy to fly. So we're going to be flying the Cessna 182 Quebec model in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 from our home airport of Tacoma Narrows across the Cascades to the town of Yakima. It's actually a surprisingly beautiful day today for December. The skies are bright and shiny. Temperatures are a little cold, but we have this wonderful moment of peace and calm in between pretty strong storms that have actually caused a lot of flooding damage here in western Washington. So we're going to take the opportunity to fly virtually in this lovely air and head across the Cascade Mountains. To be sure that we get out under what are still a little bit of IFR conditions here in the western Washington area around the Key Peninsula, and to make sure we have the maximum amount of coverage from ATC. It's just the safe thing to do. We are going to file and fly IFR. If, along the way, we decide we no longer need instrument flight rules and want to transition to VFR, we can do so, but our departure will be IFR, and then we'll make some decisions when we get up in the air. So why don't we go overhead and take a look at the tablet, and we'll plan our route a little bit. So we start with a straight line between KTIW and Yakima, just to understand a little bit about what we're facing. So looking at the VFR sectional so you can understand the physical nature of it, we're here in the Key Peninsula flying east, and it doesn't take very long before we hit the Cascade Mountains. Mount Rainier will, if we do a straight line, will be on our right, and we'll be flying over some fairly significant territory. Mount Rainier tops out a little over 14,000 feet, and the Cascades go for at least our route of flight, good long while, over 45 miles before we can get past those. Yakima is nestled on the east side of the Cascades, still fairly close to the mountains themselves. And you can see that there's Ellensburg to the north, and a little further north from there is Wenatchee, and so this is sort of this line of airports on the eastern side of the mountains. Our IFR flight plan will take us in a slightly different route than a straight line route. If we want to take a look at what makes sense for us, the routes that are available, there are T routes and there are V routes. Now, the V routes were the older ones. They've been around a long time. The Victor 298, it's going to be from Vamps, Bander, Beezer. It's going to go past Ellensburg there. Actually, it's not going to go past Ellensburg there. Right at Beezer, it's going to cut down this way. And then there's the Yakima VOR, which is the primary radio navigation point for the Victor 298 airway. What kind of altitudes are we looking at here? So 8,400 going eastbound, sure. 8,400 here, okay. At Beezer, let's see. 9,000 there, I see. And to the Yakima VOR. So our maximum altitude, we should top out about 9,000. Now, we have no problem doing that with the Cessna 182. It's got good climb performance. Now, it's not a turbocharged engine, but it can get up to 9,000 feet without having any problems. So 9,000 is okay. We're going to want to, if we were doing this in the real world, we probably want to bring along some supplemental oxygen, just for a safety measure, have our O2 meter clamped onto one of our fingers so that we're monitoring for hypoxia. And we want to make sure that since we're going over mountainous terrain as well, that we have some survival gear on board, and extra GPS with an SOS unit, that kind of thing. But we're flying a simulated airplane today, so we don't have to worry about most of that stuff. Now, let's go ahead and plug in the route that we think makes sense. Looks like Seattle VOR, Vamps. So why don't we go ahead and ask for Vamps. Victor 2 Niner 8 to YKM, and then we'll put Yakima Airport to its right. And there we go. So I'll click on Profile, and you can see what that looks like there. That looks okay. We got good clearance from the mountains. Our closest point looks like it's going to be 3,000 feet above the mountains, right around Beezer. So that's good. And then we're set for 9,000. I'll go ahead and check departure now, and we'll go ahead and look at what the winds look like. 114 nautical miles, 51 minutes. We have a 10-knot tailwind, and we're going to burn 13.4 gallons. Now, if we fill up 80% on our tanks, we're going to have 65 gallons of fuel. 13.4 minus 65 equals 42. Let's call it 40 to be safe. We know we burn 14 gallons an hour in this Cessna 182 Quebec, so 13.4 gallons for 51 minutes of flight sounds good. Let's assume another 5 gallons for, let's call it 2 gallons for taxi and takeoff. Excuse me, 2 gallons for taxi, 5 gallons for takeoff and climb, 13.4. So it's 20 gallons burned. Of a 64-gallon tank equals 44. How many hours does that leave us if we burn 14 gallons an hour? 14, 28, 42. Looks like we get 3 hours. We have 3 hours in reserve, which is absolutely plenty. So that all sounds pretty good to me. Let's see what weather's going to do for us. Okay, go ahead and send this to flights. We'll check our nav log so that we can pull our task number. Looks like 139. And we'll generate our weather briefing really quick. Okay, IFR airmits looks like on the west side, but nothing on the east. High turbulence is going to be offshore to the west, no problem there. Surface analysis chart, by ping this, you can see we're actually kind of separated from the separated here from the cold front that's coming in and the warm front that's just passed. So we have this like very short window to take advantage and get some good weather. So that's nice. METARs are showing low IFR on the west side of the mountains, north and south of us. So McCord there with the one purple dot, and then that's probably Boeing Field, maybe? What else? Destination, Yakima and Ellensburg both look good. METAR 000 knots, 10 statute miles clear, 1305, nice spread between temperature and dew point. Alright, PIREPS, sky condition broken here. Sky condition broken 002. Good thing we're going to be taking off IFR, don't you think? And nothing else, no icing, nothing like that. Cloud coverage at 2100 looks okay. Scattered 11, just fine on the east side of the Cascades. Let's watch how it evolves. It gets a little bit better and certainly no worse, so that's nice. And cloud cover, winds and precip. Not too bad. And how's it going to evolve? You can see some visibility and IFR sneaking in from the coast. And TAFs at Olympia, where we're leaving, are looking like they're improving, and Yakima continues to be good all throughout, so that's fantastic. Is there anything else we should know about our briefing? Hey, you, stop it. Wind chart, okay, from the flag to the pin, so from the southwest it looks like. That's why we're going to get our tailwind. And no icing severity, no EDR for turbulence is being shown, so that all looks good. Winds aloft looking like 2, 3, 4 at 31 knots at 9,000. Great tailwind that we're going to get. Any NOTAMs to look at? No, except for ODP, but we're going to be probably flying the Narrows 1 departure. Destination NOTAMs Yakima obstructions tower. Okay, it's lit. And obstruction tower lit. Good. We're not coming in at night, so that's good. And any other NOTAMs? ILS runway at Seattle, Olympia. CVV is not maintained. ALW, that's Walla Walla, not maintained. UBG, that's Newburgh down in Oregon. Nope, not a problem. Not a problem at all. All right. Well, I'm satisfied. I like it. Let's roll ahead over to Pilot Edge, who we're going to be talking to today, and get our flight plan filed with them. So walk over here. Step into my flight office. All right. So we're going to file an IFR flight plan. 9026 Tango Charlie, the one, the only. And we're going to file Cessna 182 Slant Golf. We got our TAS off of our navlog 139, departing KTIW, arriving Yakima, cruising at 9,000 feet, and the route of flight is VAMPS, Victor 2 908 Airway, to the Yakima VOR, and then direct. IFR 9026 Tango Charlie, Cessna 182, 139 knots, Tacoma to Yakima, 9,000 feet, via VAMPS, Victor 2 908, Yakima VOR. File. Sweet. All right. Feeling good? Great. Well, let's get into it. So let me turn the tablet off here and get over to our aeroplane, our aeroplane. Oh, before I do that, let me show you what I got. Here. The Honeycomb Sierra throttle, propeller, and mixture. Also comes with a parking brake, flap settings, retractable gear, and a trim wheel. I'm enjoying it. I've flown with it a lot so far. I really like it a lot. It's got the vernier style rotator controls. You can actually push in and push back and forth, or you can rotate. It's actually quite good. Same for the propeller, and then the throttle's actually got a throttle lock or throttle tension that you can adjust, just like in the real deal. This is just my mouse that's sitting on there, but we'll be using this to fly today. We still have our Alpha, the Bravo. I'm not going to be doing anything with it today, but this is my Octavia IFR1 that we'll be using to do some work with the avionics. Okay, back to the sim. Here we are, and it's a beautiful day. Go ahead and turn on. There we go. MSFS volume, looking good. Let's look around. Got my head tracker working. Outstanding. Let's do a walk around to the airplane here. Duck under that strut. Let's pull the chocks. Pull the pitot cover. Beautiful airplane. The paint scheme isn't exactly the same as our real Tango Charlie, but it's actually as close as any of the other paint schemes can get. So, now the primary difference between 6 Tango Charlie in the real world and this Tango Charlie here in the game is that this is a carbureted Cessna 182, not a fuel-injected 182. And while that's not obviously accurate, one of the things I like that it's this way and not the other, the real world 182 6 Tango Charlie is fuel injected, and it's got one less step to memorize. To a certain extent, if you're thinking about the 182 that's carbureted, you have to be thinking about your primer, you have to be thinking about your carb heat, and that's not a bad thing to be thinking about. It gets you thinking about, additional steps, and it gets you thinking about icing conditions and things that can affect your airplane in an additional way. So I sort of appreciate having the extra step. All right, let me go ahead just really quickly. We're going to set up the aircraft's weight and balance correctly. I want to be sure that we have our 2 people. That's me and my passenger, and then I'm going to set fuel for 80%. Actually, I'm going to set it for exactly 64 gallons of fuel. I'll go ahead and hit load because that's 64 gallons is kind of up to the tabs that we use. Okay, 2578 out of 2950, so mass is underneath our maximum takeoff weight. I'm going to click here and activate my TDS GTN 750-650 add-on from TDS Sim. So it changes these avionics here so that we actually have these really cool touch screens. And that's what we have something like that in the real Cessna 182Q. All right, let me go ahead and connect to Pilot Edge.
Pilot Edge connected.
Super duper. Love it. Okay. All right. Let's see. Looking around, let's make sure all of our controls work. Left, right, feet, throttle, propeller, mixture. All right, good. Pitot and carb heat. Excellent. Okay, turn that yoke visibility off. Rotate our fuel selector to the both position. Primer, we'll give it 3 strokes. Go ahead and pop this window open. 1, 2, 3. Beauty. All right, master on. And you can see it's IFR would be a good choice for getting out of here today. All right, master is on, plane is powered. I'll go ahead and clear prop. Yeah, that's right. Now in the 182Q, it's got a little bit of a quirk. You actually need to use the mouse to advance the mixture, otherwise it won't fire the first time, which I don't love at all. So here we go. I got the starter, and let's hit it. So I'm actually going to advance both with the mouse and the physical control. There we go. And both off. Oh, whoa, look at the gyro processing. That's freaking weird. Well, it needs to stabilize within, what, 4 minutes? Okay, we're up and running. Go ahead and give it a little RPM. Bring it up to 1200. Go ahead and hit the back cam for you so you can see. Alright, so throttle, RPM to 1200, and then just a little bit of mixture out to lean for the field. There we go. And RPM's back down to 1000. Outstanding. Close that window. And we'll do flaps 10. And avionics on. Go ahead and turn our taxi and nav lights on. All right. Good deal. All right, outstanding.
TOS system test OK.
Everything's coming along well. Let's go ahead and make sure that we can transmit and receive on Pilot Edge. So we're going to set our comms to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, transfer, and then on COM 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and transfer. Okay, good. Radio loopback test. 9026 Tango Charlie. Outstanding. And let's go ahead and get ready to dial 1222 to pick up our IFR clearance. We'll dial that COM 1, and then in COM 2 we're going to do 1240. Oh, weird. 05, which is going to be Tacoma weather. And we'll take that down.
Tacoma Airport Information Yankee 2200 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky condition. Ceiling 1700 broken. Temperature 11. Dew point 8. Altimeter 29906. ILS runway 17 in use. Landing and departing runway 17. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back all short instructions.
And then we're going to switch to 1215, enter on COM 2, because that's guard. That's a good frequency to have there. And we're going to do 118.5 for COM 1 and leave that in standby because that is the tower. In this case, we're going to use it as traffic. And let's go ahead and set our VFR 1200, alt is squawking. Ooh, Zulu. Wow, they just changed. Okay. I wonder if anything changed with the weather. Let's listen. Wind calm, visibility 10, sky condition 1700 broken. 29906. All right, 29906. All right, and we heard 17, so we're going to set our heading knob.
Open Center Challenger 828 Charlie Echo number 1 ready for departure at Napa runway 6.
And we're going to go ahead and get ourselves some clearance. Seattle departure, good day. Skylane 9026 Tango Charlie on the ground. Tacoma, would like to pick up IFR to Yakima.
Murray 2A Charlie Echo, I think I was muted earlier. Release for departure, clearance void if not off in 5 minutes. If not off in 5 minutes, advise intentions this frequency not later than 10 minutes. Change to advisory frequency approved.
Roger, release for departure, clearance void if not off in 5 minutes, and we'll switch to advisory Charlie Echo.
November 926 Tango Charlie, Seattle Center. Cleared to the Yakima Airport, as filed. Climb and maintain 9,000. Seattle departure frequency 120.4, squawk 7340, hold for release.
Cleared to the Yakima Airport as filed. Climb maintain 9,000. Frequencies 120.4, squawk 7340, hold for release. Skylane 9026 Tango Charlie.
First 6 Tango Charlie, revet correct.
Sweet.
And advised on your number 1, ready for departure.
We'll give you your call when we're number 1. Thanks, 6 Tango Charlie. Okay, so a couple of things here. First is, we'll go back in reverse order. We'll go ahead and hit our transponder, 7340. Sweet. And I'm going to go ahead and put 120.4 in the standby in COM 2. It's a nice way to, it's kind of a scratch pad. We just keep our departure there. I'm going to go ahead and arm 9,000 feet on my altitude selector on my cap 140. Nice way to remember what we're trying to do here. We're already set to 170 for takeoff, 17, and then we're going to make our map match, make our flight plan match what we were cleared for. So KTIW, the first waypoint is Vamps. There it is, fast find, thank you. Click that, choose load airway, and it's the Victor 2908. I don't have it sorted alpha, so it's sorted along the airway. So there, to Yakima, we'll load that, and then we'll add K. YKM is right there after Yakima, so we're all set. And message, we always like to make sure these things aren't blinking. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and map. We'll zoom out. Take a look here. Yeah, we go east, across the Cascades, down there, Yakima. That all sure looks correct. Now remember, we got cleared as filed. We're not required to fly the Narrows 1 departure. We can, as long as we can maintain obstacle clearance on our way up and out, we don't even have to fly the obstacle departure procedure. We can, as long as we can get the vectors, or excuse me, not the vectors, as long as we can depart, clear obstacles visually, and then turn on course above 400 I think it's 450 feet AGL off the departure end of the runway. Turn on course and be climbing toward our altitudes on course. We can use we can take off and not use an obstacle departure procedure. So that's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and get rolling here. So let me go ahead and we'll turn off the tablet, turn on my back cam, go ahead and push in the parking brake. There we go. Give a little gas. And they say winds calm, so it's nice. We already got our flaps set for 10 degrees. We're watching, making sure the HSI is moving. It is. We're making sure the ball is slipping in the opposite direction of the turn. The turn coordinator is in the direction of the turn it is, so that's good. IFR cockpit check is complete. Go ahead and put my eye level up a little bit so I can see just a little bit better. There you go.
November 828 Charlie Echo, Oakland Center, I done. Right, Charlie Echo, radar contact 3 miles east of Skaggs Island. And turn right, heading 080 vectors for climb.
All right, very good. All right, so at this point, we're not going to do the Narrows 1 departure. We're just going to let them know we are number 1 ready to go 17. Seattle Center, Skyline 926 Tango Charlie is number 1, ready to go, runway 17 at Tacoma, awaiting IFR release.
November 926 Tango Charlie, are you planning on using the Narrows departure or something else?
If possible, we would like the Narrows 1 departure, 6 Tango Charlie.
6 Tango Charlie, roger. Approved as requested, runway and released for departure. Clearance void if not off in 5 minutes.
Approved as requested. Release for IFR departure. Clearance void if not off in 5 minutes. Switching to advisory. 6 Tango Charlie.
November 8 Charlie Echo.
Okay,
continue
cool.
right
This actually
turn,
makes things a little bit better. So I'll go ahead and departure Narrows 1. I'll add that to the route there, and I'll go over here, and I'll press proc, departure, Narrows 1,
Number 8 Charlie Echo, contact Oakland
runway
Center
17,
132.9.
load departure. There we go. Now we're set, and then we're going to get vectors from Seattle departure that'll help us get on course and stay well above terrain. So I'm going to go ahead and switch now to 118.5, and I'm going to dial 1204 now in the standby for COM 1. And that'll be approach. And we need to be off pretty darn quick, so let's go ahead and make our call. Tacoma traffic, Skyline 926 Tango Charlie, taking off runway 17, departure to the west, Tacoma. Because, if we take a look at the tablet, the Narrows 1 departure has us going 250 once we're at 1,500 feet. So we're actually departing to the west, and then we'll be vectored around. So that's what we want traffic to know. All right, go and push. Let's see here. We'll take the tablet, turn that off. Going to push mixture full rich. Good. We're going to go ahead and get our lights on. Landing night strobes all set. Squawking 7340. Throttle up a little bit. Let's take the runway. We've got flaps at 10, so we know we're going to make that a part of our takeoff procedures. We should be able to get off the ground here within 2,000 feet, no trouble at all. We've got 5,000 feet of runway here. And our navigation PFD is telling us runway heading for until 1,500 feet, and then heading 255, it says. All right, runway 17 ready to go, full power. And pitot heat on. All right. Airspeed is alive. Engine instruments are in the green. And we're going to rotate at 60 knots. Nice and gentle. Don't need to force it up. And we're going to climb at not obstacle clearance speed. We're going to climb at VX, so we want to keep that around 64 knots. There you go, just like that. Very nice. Until we're clear of obstacles. We are. Bring those flaps up. And there'll be a little bit of nose settle, so you just work the trim. Very nice. And as we finish our takeoff, we bring our power back to 25 inches of manifold pressure. All right, we're going to be hitting some of that soup right away. Let's make sure that we're at runway heading. Keep an eye on that attitude indicator and our airspeed and our altitude. Okay, we're just a little shy of VY. Let that nose settle just a little bit. 1,300. Looks like we're maintaining about 700 feet per minute. Once we cross 1,500, we're going to make a right turn for heading 250. There it is. Right turn. Watch that attitude indicator. Give it a little bit of rudder. Watching that turn coordinator. Just trying for a standard rate turn. Speed's good. Set the bug for 250. Okay, good. I'll go ahead and hit the autopilot now. We'll set it into heading mode. VS at 700 feet per minute. Speed looks good. We're going to give it a little bit of power to keep it at 25 inches of manifold pressure as we head on up. Go ahead and turn landing and taxi lights off. We'll leave the rest of the lights on and we'll contact departure. Seattle departure, good day. Skyline 9026 Tango Charlie, 2,300 feet, climbing 9,000.
November 9026 Tango Charlie, Seattle departure, ident. 6 Tango Charlie, radar contact 3 miles southwest of Tacoma Narrows, turn right, heading 360.
Roger, radar contact, right turn, 360, 6 Tango Charlie. We'll just turn the heading knob. Right turn. Plenty of speed right now, so I'll go ahead and pop up the vertical speed to 900 feet a minute. Watch that airspeed come down as the nose comes up. Little more throttle, keep it at 25 inches of manifold pressure.
Number 6 Tango Charlie, clear direct vamps.
Clear direct vamps, 6 Tango Charlie. Sweet. So go ahead and go over here. We'll punch this guy. Vamps, activate, boom, and autopilot on nav mode. Puts us into a right turn, as expected. Rock and roll. Oh yeah, look at these clouds. Yeah, getting out of here is the right choice. Yuck. Okay, speed's down to 70, so go ahead and put the nose down to 600 feet per minute and make sure that throttle is adjusted for 25 inches of manifold pressure as we go up. We are north of 3,000 feet, so I'm going to go ahead and give it just a little bit of lean. Well, watch this here, you see. And then I'll turn it the rest of the way. There you go. Okay, speed's recovering nicely. Now we're at 75. That's VY, climbing out really nice. Okay, good. Flaps are up. Cow flaps are still open. That's good. Speed's stable. 80, nice cruise climb. Vertical speed of 600. Nose is stable. Let me go ahead and line up our heading bug and CDI on the HSI. It's just the good thing to do to clean up the cockpit here. Alright, manifold pressure, RPMs look good, EGT is okay, cylinder head temperature, oil pressure are all in the green, plenty of fuel, and amps are charging. Aircraft is happy. Fuel flow is nice and wide open. It looks like 16 and a half gallons per hour. I think we can take a little bit of a bigger bite of the sky, don't you? I'm going to go ahead and VS up to 900 feet per minute. Watch that airspeed come back down as the vertical speed goes up. All right, past 4,300, climbing 9,000. We're in touch with ATC, and we're on our way out of here. There is the possibility of calling VFR, but I don't want to. Hey, look down there. Who's that? Whoa, it's a jet underneath us. That was cool. Let me see if I can... Let's see if we can see that if I go to external camera there. There he is behind us. That was fun. Alright, 27 knot tailwind at this point. I'm not unhappy about that. 5,000 feet, climbing 9,000. Still holding 80 knots, so that's good. Now be sure, go ahead and give it a little bit more throttle to keep it at 25 inches of manifold pressure. It's always 25 inches of manifold pressure or full throttle, whichever one is less, as you're climbing and you're on your way up. Alright, we see we're losing a little airspeed here. We're at 75, so go ahead and duck the nose down to 700 feet per minute. We just want to kind of keep it a nice cruise climb, so we don't want to let her get too slow. See the turn coordinator here is a little bit of right because of course we have that left turning tendency when we're at lower speeds and high engine output, so I'll go ahead and push in just a little bit of right rudder to keep that coordinated. Alright, 5,700, we're back in the soup again. Let's go ahead and take a look at our tablet and make sure that we know where we are and what we're doing. I need to turn on my MSFS bridge. Excuse me. There we go. There we go. That is better. And we are headed to Vamps. And then once we're at Vamps, it's going to be on the Victor 298 Airway. And the next one will be Bander. So if I go ahead down here, Bander. Good. Everything looks just dandy. All right, speed's back up again. We're actually like at 95 knots. So go ahead and push the nose up, take a little bit of a bigger bite here, and I'm also going to go ahead and lean out just a little bit more. Turn that FS realistic sound down just a little bit. There we go.
Murray 28 Charlie Echo, contact Oakland Center 127.45.
All right, 6,500, now climbing 9,000. Cutting through some of this here. All right. And speed stabilizing now at about 90
November
knots.
28 Charlie Echo, Oakland Center, roger.
What are these messages? Airspace alert. Okay, that's fine. We can see if there's any other traffic around us. We'll go ahead and pop up the traffic cone. Nothing. Pretty quiet out there. All right, Vamp's coming up in 17 miles. And let's see if we can goose the throttle any more there. Nope. Throttle is all the way pushed in. Can't get any more power out of the engines. Now making 85 knots. So I'll go ahead and push that nose down just a little bit in anticipation as we're going to lose a little bit of ability to climb. We want to keep that airspeed nice and high. We don't want the controls on the autopilot to get mushy or lose track of anything. So we want to give it plenty of forward momentum to work with. Okay, 7,600 climbing 9,000 feet. And we're going to pop our head up here and take a look at the outside air temperature real quick. It's showing 10 Celsius or 40 degrees. Getting a little cold out there, so I'll go ahead and turn on the cabin heat, the defrost there, just to keep things nice and cozy. Okay, 8,100 feet, continuing to climb 9,000 feet, so we're starting to get a little bit closer. What I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and once we hit 8,500 feet, at 500 within our target, I'll turn the vertical speed down to 500 feet a minute and slow that climb down a little bit. You can see down here we're crossing the Puget Sound here, so this is going to be the Seattle side. The Seattle Airport KSEA itself is down there somewhere. Okay, crossing 8,500, so I'll go ahead and punch in 500 vertical speed on the Cap 140. And we'll slow our climb down a little bit. That's going to raise our forward airspeed. We've got 123 knots ground speed, which is only going to increase because we got a 31 knot tailwind according to the GTN 750. And as our forward speed starts to increase, we're going to need less right rudder. All right, very good. All right, 200 feet from our target. Speed's coming up. Push the nose down to 200 feet per minute just to bring that climb to a nice, easy, right on the money conclusion. Okay, 100 feet from our target altitude. Now this may capture altitude mode. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So it just captured altitude right there. So it's going to go ahead and level us out and hold 9,000 barometric altitude. That's excellent. What we're going to do now is we are going to set our RPM, manifold pressure and RPM appropriately. Manifold pressure is as high as it can get at 2200. We're going to go ahead and just very gently twist the propeller knob to the left and watch that RPM come down. I want that last full tick of green right there. Okay, good. RPM 21, 22, 23. Now we're going to go ahead and lean the mixture the rest of the way. We're going to look at our fuel flow there is 14 and our EGT here. So I'm going to go ahead and dial it just a little bit. Watch that fuel flow go down. I've got the EGT bug set, and you can see that the EGT needle is a little higher than the bug. And I'm going to keep dialing for dollars. There goes the EGT needle. Fuel flows come down to about 13.8. Let that EGT settle. Okay, set a new bug. Oh, there it went. It just started to drop, so I'll go ahead and dial it rich a little bit more. There we go. Peak EGT, and it looks like 13.5 gallons per hour. All right, throttle set, propeller set, mixture set, trim is set. Go ahead and close those cowl flaps now. We're done climbing. Cylinder head temperature is looking good. Oil temperature and pressures are good. Plenty of fuel. Battery is charging. We are in stable cruise configuration and making 166 knots. Now that's a heck of a good time. All right. 166, and here we are in the beautiful Cascade Mountains coming up ahead of us. We're going to want to watch for Mount Rainier if we can see that pop up from anywhere. I think I can actually see it. It's just obscured by clouds right there, but that's it. Well, we'll just keep our eyes on that for a second. Let's try an external view. That helps a lot, thanks. There we go. Not bad, eh? Nice. And look at that. All of a sudden we break out and it's just a beautiful day. I swear, it's like the Galapag Gourmet, and he had one in the oven already, and I just pulled out a nice day and like, yeah, see, it's a beautiful finished sunny day as we go over the Cascades. And that's great. Off to the left, I mean, you can see what we're leaving behind. This is garbage. All right. Bring up that tablet, 166 knots. We're about to make a right turn to 093 as we cross Vamps and get on the Victor 298 airway. And we might see that, yeah, a little bit of a change, not a huge change in ground speed. Our ETA, then we got 33 minutes to our destination of Yakima. 33 minutes across the Cascades in a propeller-driven aircraft is not too shabby. Okay, yeah, so ground speed's down to about 157 or so, and that put 1 extra minute on our time, it looks like. All right, so along the Victor 298 airway to Beezer, and then we make that right turn at Beezer, Thick, Pert, Datvi, Selah, and then the Yakima VOR, which is adjacent to the Yakima airfield, which is where we intend to land today. I'll go ahead and hit my heading here. And our course track 092. And we are 103. Wow, holding a 10 degree crab to overcome to overcome that tailwind that's slightly off our right-hand quarter. It's going to be pushing us north, right? So we got to crab our nose slightly south to overcome that. Looking around here, we've got some of this beautiful territory that we're in. I'll go ahead and switch over to the VFR sectional, and you can kind of see what we're looking at here. So off to my left is going to be the town of Selleck, and then North Bend thereabouts. Oh, excuse me. And then there's Mount Rainier. You can see that right there. And then the foothills of that, you can see the valleys that lead near Greenwater. And down that valley a little bit is a field called Ranger Creek. Now, right now you can see it's definitely in the soup there, but that's a place that I'd love to visit one of these days. We're not going to do that today. We have a mission to get to Yakima, and by God, we're going to get there. Ground speed's back up to 164, making good time, 30 minutes to our destination. Now, at this point, we're in a good spot to cancel VFR if we wanted to, and I'll show you why. Or cancel IFR if we wanted to, and I'll show you why. If you look at the VFR chart, and they didn't make this any easier. They recolored the charts a little bit. So you see these light blue lines here, that guy there. That is the edge of the Class Bravo shelf. The terminal altitude there, you'd have to be under 6,000 feet not to bust that shelf, or you'd have to be over 10,000 feet. Because we were flying IFR, we don't have to worry about that. We have clearance through these airspaces, but if we wanted to go VFR, we are now clear of that Bravo area, and we no longer have to worry about those altitudes. We wouldn't have any restrictions on that. The only restrictions we would have, we need to stay high enough to be away from people, property, that sort of thing, be able to operate the aircraft. If there were an engine failure, be able to get to a safe place if there were an engine failure. And then the top end, right, is going to be the operating altitude of our aircraft, which I think maxes out at 14,000 feet, and the IFR airspace above 18,000 feet. So those are the things we'd have to contend with. So I mean, it looks nice. We could do VFR. We could switch to flight following if we wanted to. The question I have is, can we navigate any better? Do we get something out of that? What we lose is we lose the sort of prioritization of ATC. ATC has to route IFR traffic. They can route VFR. They can give VFR traffic flight following as they are able to, but if you're on IFR flight plan, they're in contact with you. That's the law. So it's safety to stay on IFR. It's an additional, radar check, which is good. And the routing is well known and well understood. If we thought, for instance, that we'd do better just, doing a straight line like this, like that, and going VFR, I mean, maybe that makes sense. Let's see. We've got 36... plus 30, look at that, 36 plus 36. We got 72 miles to go total, which we could slice down to 64. So we could save a whole 8 miles. And we're going 162 miles every hour. So what's that sound like? We're going 162 miles an hour, which means we're going about 2.5 miles a minute. So we'd save about 4 minutes, maybe 3. We have 28 minutes to go. VFR? Yeah, no. No need. Well, let's just hang out for a little bit. Get you a nice view.
November 6 Tango Charlie, contact Seattle Center 126.6.
Over to Seattle Center 126.6, 6 Tango Charlie.
November 828 Charlie Echo, contact LA Center 133.2.
28 Charlie Echo.
Just to verify, I think I heard something different. 33.2.
33.2, 8 Charlie Echo.
Seattle Center, good day. Skyline 926 Tango Charlie, 9,000 feet.
November 926 Tango Charlie, Seattle Center, the Seattle altimeter 29905.
Thank you for 29905, 6 Tango Charlie. All right, coming up on Bander and on to Beezer. Another 25 miles to Beezer and then a right turn. We are in touch with Seattle Center now, so we're out of Seattle departures space. All right. Well, now, how do we think this is going to work? You notice we're going to start doing some descent math here. We're going to have to stay, if we stay IFR, we're going to have to stay up at about 9,000 unless they give us earlier, faster. So at PERT, we'd be able to start descending from 9,000. Now we've got, to the Yakima VOR, we've got 23 miles to descend, and we always think about 3 to 1. So for every 1,000 feet you want to lose, you're going to go 3 miles ahead. If we want to go from 9,000 feet to whatever the typical pattern altitude is for Yakima, which we're going to check right now. Yakima has an elevation of 1,099, so our TPA is going to be about 2,000. So we need to descend from 9,000 to 2,000, which means losing 7,000 feet. 9,000 to 2,000 is 7,000 feet. We got to lose 7,000 feet in 23 nautical miles. Can we do it? Well, 3 for 1. 7,000 feet times 3 is 21 nautical miles. So we'll be able to descend by the Yakima VOR with about 2.5 miles to spare. So it'll be 7,000 feet, 2 miles from the Yakima VOR, which is actually perfect. So okay, our descent math is planned. We don't need to come down until we hit PERT. Now the question is, what approach do we want? Are we looking for a visual approach? I'd say probably. We don't have any need for an instrument approach. It's absolutely beautiful as far as the eye can see here. So let's take a look at the Yakima Air Terminal setup and figure out what might inform an approach. So we'll go to weather real quick. Yakima is reporting 00000000. 10 statute miles and clear, and altimeter 3001. Great weather, no wind. We can do whatever we want or whatever they want, right? So if we go over to the VFR map and take a look at the notes here, there's no right pattern notes at all. So what would make sense? If we were flying this pattern, if we were coming this way at the Yakima VOR, what would we likely do? Well, if we wanted the big runway, we could ask for a straight in 27. We could do that. Or we could ask for enter left downwind for runway 09 for the big runway. That's possible. The other thing that we could do is we could ask to enter left downwind. Let's see, we fly past, we could enter left downwind for 22, like that. Well, which of those is going to work? Now, the Yakima Air Terminal, if I remember right, is one of the ones that that Pilot Edge simulates. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at their operating hours and service area real quick. Let's see here. Yep. So with the Western expansion, which we have, they simulate Yakima. It's a Class Delta. So we'll get in touch with Tower and they'll give us what they want. We'll just let them know that we're full stop. So there you go. Now let's see if we can pick up their ATIS frequency, 125.25. Getting bumpy up here.
Airport information, Quebec. 2300 Zulu. Windcom. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 1 tree. Dew point.
Oh, listen.
Contact, you have Quebec.
Okay, one of those is Pilot Edge. Well, did you catch that? I did. I got it on my tablet here. So, don't listen to this. Not Romeo. That's flight simulators. We're listening when it's a towered airport in Pilot Edge. We listen to Pilot Edge's ATIS broadcasts. So Pilot Edge's ATIS broadcast, even though it was a little bit squawky, a little bit squelchy, excuse me, I heard enough. Information Bravo, wind calm, visibility 10, skies clear, temperature 10, dew point 4, altimeter 3001, and I'll try to get that altimeter reading a little bit better when we get closer. 22 and 27 are the runways that are in operation. So let's go ahead and chart what we expect that we would need to do here. 22 and 27. If we're going to go all the way, if we're coming from the north, right? Coming this way. And we go all the way to the Yakima VOR. We could ask for a straight-in 27. Okay, let's do it this way. Flight plan, procedure, approach, visual runway. Let's see, 27 straight in. Would look like that. That ain't bad. I don't mind that at all.
5 by 5.
What about the 2-2? Straight in? No, not really. We could try a 45. I think I'm a fan of the straight in. That's a little silly. Let's see. Let's try one more. Procedure, approach. Visual 2-2. We sort of have to cross the airfield. Let's ask for the 2-7. We'll ask for the visual 2-7. And we'll switch this back to the IFR chart. All right. We're just about a minute from Beezer. So we're about to make our right turn. Ellensburg should be right up ahead. What's the outside air temperature? A balmy 40. I don't think we need the defroster. I'll go ahead and turn off the cabin heat. It's getting a little bit toasty in here anyway.
Hey, Oakland Center, Aerostar 345, Quebec E1.
All right.
Oakland Center, go ahead.
As we hit,
I got a quick question real quickly.
as we hit Beezer, make sure we're on nav mode.
Our position
We're expecting a right
is
turn.
just, what is it, southeast of San Simeon. Do you guys have traffic that you guys are injecting that is actually doing aerobatics?
What's the airport ID?
We're at Oak County Ranch, which is north of San Luis Obispo. It's a private airfield, just southeast of San Simeon, private airfield.
Interesting. Wonder what's going on there.
I actually don't know the airport ID for the San Simeon field. I honestly don't know the direct answer to your question. My assumption would be yes, but I would honestly ask that question to operations more than the controller because I don't really know.
Okay, I've just never seen it on PE before, where you guys actually have aircraft that are doing aerobatics over a field.
Yeah, there's usually some targets that do aerobatics, and then there's targets that are doing, military missions, but I can't say for sure.
Okay, great, thanks.
926 Tango Charlie, Kennex Spokane, approach 123.8.
Over to Spokane, 123.8, 6 Tango Charlie. Okay, good. Well, we've made our last turn. We're on our way to Yakima now. We've got, let's see, 38 miles to go. So I'll go ahead and call approach and let them know we've got the weather and are looking for the visual 27. Spokane approach, good day, Skyline 926 Tango Charlie, 9,000 feet. We got weather and information, Bravo at Yakima, look for the visual runway 27.
926 Tango Charlie, Spokane approach, Yakima, altimeter 3001, expect that.
Thanks 3001, and we'll expect the visual 27 into Yakima, 6 Tango Charlie. Sweet. Okay, procedure, approach, visual 27. I'll go ahead and pop straight in there. Okay, good. We're set on that. Next. Back. Proc. Approach. Visuals are always at the bottom here. Visual 27. Load approach. All set. VNAV unavailable for the upcoming leg. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Okay, Yakima's within the 50 nautical mile range ring. Now remember what we said. We did our descent math, and we figure that once we hit PERT, that's basically where we need to start our descent down. I descended about 700 feet per minute, and 700 feet per minute, we use that 3-for-1 math is going to get us all the way down in 21 miles, giving us 2 miles to the Yakima VOR if we continue that way. Which I think we should. I think actually going to the Yakima VOR sets us up really well for entering, just with a slight southbound turn, we can just turn around and we can do straight in runway 27. So that's what I'm hoping. Now, since we're on with approach, our next frequency is probably going to be Yakima. So I'll just grab a plate and I'll just take a look here and say, Yakima Tower 13325. 13325, and we'll put that in our standby. Good. And then we're also going to look at the airport and figure out where we want to park. So I'll go ahead and clear my annotations here. If we're expecting the 27, we're coming in this way. And east ramp parking looks like it's just off Bravo, so that looks good. East ramp parking looks good, right near the tower. We can just take 27 and expect to go past
6 Tango
this.
Charlie, fly present heading, descend and maintain 6,000.
Fly present heading, descend and maintain 6,000, 6 Tango Charlie. All right, I guess we're starting our descent, and not too early, so I'll go ahead and dial down. I'll dial 6,000 on my Cap 140, and I'll go ahead and go APVS mode, and I'll bring it down. Let's bring it down at 600 feet per minute. Now, as we come down, we don't want to overspeed the aircraft. So I'm going to go ahead and pull back the throttle a little bit, just to 20 inches of manifold pressure. We'll keep the RPM at 2,400, and we'll start getting the.
Destination ATIS is 125.25.
Yeah, I know. All right, so manifold pressure's been reduced now to 20 inches, and as we go down, and the air pressure increases, the manifold pressure will actually go up. So we'll need to actually be working. We'll actually need to be working the throttle back just a little bit at a time to keep it 20 inches of manifold pressure as we go down. Other things we'll want to consider. We'll want to get the cockpit ready for landing, so fuel selectors on both. Cowl flaps are closed for now. Mixture is rich, but as we come down, we're going to start riching that up a little bit as we come on down. And as we go under 3,000, we got to go full rich. We're going to leave the propeller as is, flying at 2,300 RPMs until we're in the pattern and ready for our final descent to landing. Throttle is set. We know that. Carb heat. As soon as we get underneath the green arc, we're going to want that carb heat on and rolling. Let's go ahead and turn our lights on for now. Might as well. Taxi and landing lights are on. Keys in both. Master is on. Primer is in and locked.
November 926 Tango Charlie, Yakima Airport, 12 o'clock position, 2 tree miles, report in sight.
We'll report when we've got it in sight. 6 Tango Charlie. Negative contact so far. I say that, but is that true? We'll come down a little bit further and fly a little bit farther, and we'll look again. Okay, so we're seeing Yakima VOR we're flying to. The Yakima airport's going to be just off to the right, so if there was sort of a 1230 position, that's where it'd be. I actually think I see it. I think it's right there. 6 Tango Charlie, we got the field in sight.
6 Tango Charlie, clear visual, approach runway 27.
Clear the visual, runway 27, 6 Tango Charlie. Sweet. We're cleared the visual. We can continue our descent now down to 2,000. Three, 8, yes, 12, yeah, 20 miles. And we got to lose 5,000 feet in 20 miles. That's no problem. That's only going to take 15 miles, so it's going to leave us 5 miles before we hit the airport. So that's actually quite good. And as you see, as I told you, right, manifold pressure has gone up a little bit as we've descended because the air pressure is increasing. So we'll go ahead and just back that throttle off ever so slightly. There you go. Nice. 20 inches of manifold pressure. And we're coming down below 7,000 feet. Throttle's still in the green arc. We're producing enough power. Things are hot enough. We're not going to need the carb heat just yet. Doing really well. Let's see how the outside air temperature is going. Temperature is now up to, looks like 50 degrees Fahrenheit, or about I don't know, 14 degrees, 16 degrees Celsius. Well, I like this James Bond spy music thing going on here.
clearance delivery. Good afternoon, United 74, 742. Sorry, disregard.
I like that he starts over. That was nice. It's beautiful out here, isn't it? Just clear as a bell this side of the mountain, doesn't it? I got the sun coming down. That's a really nice look to it.
San Francisco
Gorgeous.
Ground, good day. It's United 38.
Gorgeous
information
valley.
Zulu at, I believe, Foxtrot 10. Just want to see if we need clearance to push here.
All right, and coming
United
down
38
now.
Heavy, San Francisco ground. Are you pushing onto a taxiway?
5,500 now, descending 2,000.
Tow driver tells me not, but I think Alpha's right there behind me, so I thought I'd double check.
United 38 Heavy, pushback and Alpha's approved.
Push on Alpha's approved. You want us facing east?
United 38 Heavy, affirm.
San Francisco clearance delivery. United 742 Heavy, ready to pick up IFR clearance to Seattle.
United 742 Heavy, San Francisco clearance standby.
Where do you figure that Yakima airport is, huh? Yeah, I think it's right there. And we're on an IFR flight plan. They will tell us when to contact tower.
Yeah, it's 742 Heavy. This will be a full route clearance. Clear to Seattle Airport. San Francisco for departure. Radar vectors Red Bluff.
130.
Jet 126 Airway.
135.
Newburgh.
Gonna turn that
Olympia 2 arrival.
throttle back down, remember.
Maintain 10,000.
There you
Expect
go.
audible tree 8010.
And push a little
departure.
mixture rich.
NorCal departure frequency
There you go.
135.1. Squawk
Make sure there's enough fuel getting in
1630.
there. On our way down, we'll bring that speed back down to about
United
130
742 Heavy
knots.
cleared to Seattle via the San Francisco 4 departure. Radar vectors to Red Bluff. The J126 Airway to Newburgh. And the Olympia 2 arrival.
This is the Sea-Log Gap.
Climb by Citic maintain 10,000. Expect 3810.
It's pretty cool,
departure.
huh?
Departure is 135.1. Squawk 1630. And we'd like the phonetic spelling for Newburgh if possible. United 742 Heavy.
Alright, 742 Heavy. Uniform Bravo Golf for Newburgh. Verify initial altitude, maintain 10,000. Rest to reback is correct.
And down below 4,000 now and continuing down.
742 Heavy.
926 Tango Charlie, contact Yakima Tower 133.25.
Over to tower, 133.25, 6 Tango Charlie. Alright, I think we're going to go ahead and turn down that music because it is time to land this plane. Yakima Tower, good day. Skylane 9026 Tango Charlie, 3,500s, 3 to the north with information Bravo. Full stop, runway 27.
926 Tango Charlie, Yakima Tower, roger. Runway 27, clear to launch.
Clear to land, 27, 6 Tango Charlie. Sweet. That's pretty easy. So we'll just go ahead and cut around the Yakima VOR here and then just tuck into the 27. It's nice and easy. So I'm going to go ahead and set it up for heading mode. I'm just going to point this way like this. I'm going to go ahead and press heading on. There you go, just like that. And then I'm going to go proc, activate the visual 27. Boom, done. And track inbound is going to be 270. So we're just setting the CDI up there so we know when we're on the inbound course for final. Okay, and we are below 3,000 feet, so I'm going to go ahead and push that mixture full rich. Bring the speed down. And I'm going to go ahead and start bringing it down to 1,500 RPM, start slowing the plane down. I'm also going ahead and pop the carb heat. We don't need our airplane stalling out. We don't want our engine coughing and dying while we're trying to get onto the ground here. Okay, 2,400 coming down nice and easy. Go ahead and reduce our sink to 300 feet per minute on our way down. That's going to go ahead and bring the speed down a little bit. And runway 27 is going to be on our right there. Go ahead and go flaps 10 at 140, so flaps 10. And that's also going to help slow us down a little bit, put a little bit of drag on the airframe. We've done our floor-to-door checks already. We know that we're bueno on those. The only other thing to set correctly is the propeller. I'm going to go ahead and as we calm it down, I'm going to go ahead and push that propeller all the way forward to increase to max RPMs, and mixture is full rich. Double check that. All right, 180 feet from TPA. And I'm going to go ahead and make a turn now to the south. Just like that. That's glorious. And as our speed comes down, there we go, it's 2,000. I'll go ahead and take it manual. And bring our RPM down to 1,500 RPM. And we're in the white arc, flaps 20. Dial in a little bit of trim to overcome the bubble. Oh, I love this gap. Isn't that beautiful? That's the coolest thing. Poke our head out there. We can see 2.7, no problemo. We're a little bit low. Give it some extra gas. And this will be a 3-mile final. CDI will start to swing in here in a second, so I'm going to just start a gentle turn. Yep, CDI is coming in, just like we expected. Beautiful. Stable, flaps 30.
2-mile final runway 27.
Okay, we're doing 70 knots. We're a little low, so I'm going to give it just a little bit of gas. And ground is 1219er. Might as well, right? Put in a little trim.
500.
500.
Okay. We're a little fast. Bring that manifold pressure down. Throttle out. Bring just a little bit of throttle back. There we go. Starting to see those lights come in, so I'll go ahead and bring the throttle back just a little bit more. And we're using the nose to control airspeed just a little bit. Using my little trim wheel there. There you go. Getting closer to 65 knots. Sync rate's increasing a little bit. Just give it a little bit more throttle. There we go. Power set. Trimmed out, feeling really, really good. Just about on 65, about 67 knots. Plenty of room on runway 27. Plenty of room for everybody. go. Feet ready on the brakes. And we're over the threshold. Right on the bars. And we're going to swing past here. Flaps up. We're going to take Bravo.
Air 6 Tango Charlie, taxi to parking via Alpha, remain this frequency, we'll see you.
Taxi to parking via Alpha, remain this frequency. Thanks for the help, 6 Tango Charlie. Nice. Park right here next to Larry. Excellent. So we'll pull the parking brake just like that. Okay. Carb heat, pitot heat off. All other lights off. Avionics off. Cowl flaps open. And pull that mixture all the way back. Keys off. Fuel shut off. Master off. All right. Man. Yakima and absolutely beautiful sort of sunset happening here. We're on the east side of the Cascades, got out of that nasty weather, and had ourselves a really nice flight. I had a good time. I hope you did too. I'm looking forward to doing this flight in real life when we start to see some nice weather out here. I'm hoping to do it this spring or summer and get some time out in eastern Washington. I got a lot of those Fly Washington stamps to collect. So thanks for coming along, and we'll see you next time. Hopefully we'll have a lot more of these to come. See ya.